Hello and welcome to From Agenda to Action, a City of Ames podcast to help residents better understand decisions being made at Ames City Council meetings. I'm Susan Gwiasda with City Communications and Outreach, and today we'll go over highlights and items discussed at the June 23rd Ames City Council meeting. To help me explain the meeting, I'm joined by Ames Mayor John Haila. So, Mayor, thank you for joining us today. We had quite an agenda on the 23rd and also probably one of the best attended council meetings in recent memory.
I would agree with you. And unfortunately, we had to have people in some remote rooms watching on TV monitors, but we appreciate everyone coming out of all ages and all different walks of life.
Yeah, it really seems like the focus was on one of two items, and I think we'll just jump right into those. One of the items was discussion of a small-scale data center.
Correct.
And the council was not taking action on this, and so everybody in the room who was there for that agenda item was there to listen.
That's correct. We really appreciate the fact that, one, there's a very engaged community interested in this particular topic, and we made it very clear from the onset that Tuesday night intent was to get information from staff and from Lightedge, the co-location data center, for council to also have the ability to ask lots of questions, and we ended up spending an hour and 45 minutes on this particular topic. And I was extremely proud of our community and those that were in attendance. They were respectful. They listened, and so we're looking forward to next Tuesday night, June 30th, where we're going to have a special council meeting, which is solely dedicated to this topic and receiving public comment, input, feedback, and response to questions that we may have. And it's not a conversation. It's really to listen and give the public an opportunity to provide their view, their concerns, what they see as they may be apprehensive about, but also what they may just see as being some positives.
So the council asked questions somewhat similar to what we've seen from the public about the use of utilities, noise. I probably won't hit them all. The number of employees, why Ames, and the representatives of of Lightedge were there. You questioned them. It was almost 2 hours of input, and people listened, right?
Yes, and no questions were withheld. I'm confident we didn't ask all the questions that people in the audience or who have emailed may have posed, but we're trying to start distilling down, teasing out what are the impacts, as you mentioned, on utilities, for example, water usage, what impact it might have on our wastewater treatment plant. Don Com, our Director of Electric Services, had a presentation illustrating the amount of electricity that would be consumed, how those needs would be met, and the lack of impact that would have on our ratepayers. One of the great concerns of council as well as the community is not adversely affecting or causing us to have to pay more because of an increase of demand by a user, whether it's a data center or anybody else coming to town. That's always a consideration.
Sure, and that's a good point, that that property could go to some other type of use, and you're making the decision, is this the best fit? That's
correct. And if we just remove data centers from a second, there are companies that manufacture products that we use each and every day. For example, let's just take a glass manufacturer, for example. They use a huge amount of water. They use a lot of electricity. There's not one proposed to come to Ames. I just know because of my background that what is involved with the manufacturing, and there could be other industries. So it is a question. We want to be wise stewards of our resources and also take into account how it's going to impact our community members.
So people are asked to come and share their thoughts on June 30th, 6 p.m. here at City Hall. I just want to remind people, because the council had said it's not just this data center, but it's also the idea of a more comprehensive strategy.
That's correct. There's understandably, this is a large consumer of electricity, but in terms of data centers in general, it is a small consumer compared to some of these large ones that we're hearing about, around the country. That being said, we want to get feedback on this specific project, in addition to philosophically larger data centers that could potentially want to locate in Ames at this point in time. To our knowledge, there are none that are considering Ames as a destination. But as one council member said a couple weeks ago, now is the time to have the conversation and be proactive, because it likely may come about in the future, and we want to be well postured to know how to respond to that. So it seems appropriate, since they provide similar services, that is, services to the IT industry. It's important to get feedback.
Great. So that's June 30th, 6 p.m., City Hall. The exact room number still yet to be determined, so we'll have information on our website.
Right, and just to be clear, the reason that we're not having it in council chambers is if we anticipate there'd be a crowd large enough that would not allow us to easily set up to get that feedback, and so we want to be in a location and a setup that would encourage and allow everybody to give their thoughts to council members.
Great. Moving on, we had another item that did attract a lot of people, and it affected, we talked about a tragedy a few months ago on Lincoln Way that affected our neighborhood deeply. Lincoln Way in South Russell, it was an area under study. What happened with that agenda item?
Yes, it was a very tragic situation where one of our key members was hit by a vehicle and ended up passing away, as you mentioned, a few months ago. And so the item on the agenda was to talk about traffic control, pedestrian safety on Lincoln Way in the Oak Riverside neighborhood, which in essence is between, it's just to the west of Grand Avenue and just to the east of University. And so staff prepared a report which was very thorough, giving different options, which included everything from, in essence, continuing to follow our bike, walk, roll plan for transportation, up to a rectangular flashing pedestrian beacon. And so council ended up giving direction to staff to take some short-term, immediate, and long-term initiatives.
Okay. That really wraps up a lot of what happened on the June 23rd meeting. Do you think we covered it?
I think so. And just also as a sidebar to the first topic we were talking about, and that is on July 14th, we're also anticipating getting feedback from our city attorney that answers additional questions regarding data centers in general, and I would also anticipate that we'll have this topic back on the agenda. So we want to keep people fully aware of what's transpiring. Please look at the city website and make sure that you're kept up to speed, and we will endeavor to provide the information as it becomes available.
Great. Thank you, Mayor Haila, for joining us to review the June 23rd City Council meeting. Just as another reminder, June 30th is our listening session. That's a special meeting with the Ames City Council. That is a special meeting. Our regular meeting returns Tuesday, July 14th.
Thanks, Susan.
Thank you.
From Agenda to Action is a City of Ames podcast.